Dot, 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 dot. Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark, and I am so glad that we are here today. It is a beautiful Thursday, and we are on episode 125. How did we even get here? Has it been that long? Has it been that many days? Yes, it has. Now, we got a great show for you today. I am going to be covering mission. Are we going to talk about mission, Grant? Yes, we are. You need to hear about mission because I think it's true to the experience you're having, and it's true to the experience that so many people around you are having. If you seek to be a servant to the people around you, if you seek to serve your community and serve your loved ones, if we are not talking about mission, we're missing a huge element of a component that makes them who they are. And so I've just been exploring this in myself, in my journaling, in my writing, and reflecting a lot on mission and purpose. And so we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to fail mission, just quick items that I was jotting down today that I was like, man, somebody could really fail and do mission wrong. I was thinking this is in the vein of one of my mentors that I had, basically how to get religion wrong, how to get mission wrong. You can't do it wrong and you can't mess it up for other people. So we're going to cover that a little bit. Before that, we have two tiny bits of other news, as well as one piece of somber yet celebratory news about the business and what's going on. But before any of that, we've got a cup of gratitude. And if you can't tell, I've got my tea filter here. I've got tea this morning. What tea do we have? Oh, Caribbean Breeze, a fruity green tea. What are you drinking this morning? And what are you grateful for? Because we're going to cover cup of gratitude. Here we go. I am grateful for a super productive day yesterday. I had a super good time with the team. We had Amber and Kiana, and we just got so much done. I feel like we're opening more loops than we're closing, which is good. We're doing new business. But it was very productive day, so I'm grateful for that. And then, of course, I'm grateful for Jenna Neal's graduation day. Yes, today is Jenna Neal's graduation day. Jenna has been with us actually 4 years, so it's actually her graduation day. Jenna Neal has basically started with us about 4 years ago, give or take, with next to no web design skills. She was just looking for work at the time. Since that time, she has become a top-notch designer. She's a fantastic website designer. She's developed her own style. She's developed her own methods along with my wife, Marissa, on website design. They've contributed, in my opinion, not only to this company, but to the industry and actually how they process and think about design. I love watching them design. She's juggled her own photography company, which has been seasonal. And she's done not only weddings and family and birth, but she's also done some corporate photography as well as along the way. She's gotten married. Jenna Neal met Ryan Neal at one of our co-working spaces that we all worked out of. And she and her husband, after they were married and traveled to Japan and followed Ryan Neal's passion for food, together they launched Sabu Ramen, the ramen company here in our hometown, Lakeland, Florida, and brand. It's a fantastic brand and a fantastic company with a huge future. It's time for Jenna to focus on her other companies now, as well as building her family and building her life with her husband. So this morning's cup of gratitude is primarily to you, Jenna Neal, for everything you've done for us. We appreciate you. We wish you the absolute best, and we hope that you and Ryan stay fast friends. Thank you so much for everything you've done. That, my friends, is a cup of gratitude. Let's talk about other news. Here we go. So James Bond has had an art career. You heard me correct. Boop. James Bond has had a wonderful little art career. You see, Pierce Brosnan has actually been painting since 1987. You heard me correctly. He's an alumni of London's Central St. Martin's School of Art and Design. Not many people knew that about Pierce Brosnan. He's done over 153 paintings since as of 2018, so over the last 30 years. And I've got a lot to do if I'm going to keep up with Mr. Pierce Brosnan. I got to keep chucking out that artwork and keep producing good stuff. You see, Pierce Brosnan was on the set of GoldenEye. And on the set of GoldenEye, he was often between takes, and there was often very loud scenes. So they would hand him a little packet of earplugs. And he'd open up the packet of earplugs and he'd read the instructions and he'd put in his earplugs and then shoot the scene. Inspired at that time by pop artist Roy Lichtenstein, Pierce Brosnan painted a painting called Earplugs. And it's basically inspired by the instructional illustrations blended with pop artist Roy Lichtenstein. And I think this was around the shooting of GoldenEye when this painting came out. As of late, they've now done screen printings and will be selling signed screen printings from Pierce Brosnan in LA, rehashing his pop art piece known as Earplugs. So check that out. That's a fun fact about Pierce Brosnan, 007. Yes, he has art skills. Yes, he's done over 153 paintings in his art career to date, and I'm certain he will continue that trend. Fun fact about this. Pierce Brosnan started painting his first paintings out of the London school, St. Martin's College of Art and Design, when his wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And he painted one called Dark Night. And he did a whole series of the process of her treatments and her wrestling with ovarian cancer. And he has since continued his painting career long after. So I actually have a lot of respect. This isn't just some celebrity hobbyist. He actually has a very strong art background. I recommend you check that out. That's your first piece of other news. In other news, did the internet have a cold yesterday? You bet your pants. Here we go. So yes, the interwebs had a little bit of a hiccup yesterday. Let's go ahead and drop this link for you. Boom, there you go. You see, all over the East Coast, plenty of services were out. Apparently, AWS got hit with a hiccup or some interruption that we have to check out. This affected everybody early Tuesday morning and well into midday. Internet traffic globally, because the East Coast is such a hub. Think about the East Coast of the United States, DC and New York and Boston and Atlanta. Think of these cities and their populations. Now, it's one thing if Mountain Standard Time had an outage of the internet, but this was the East Coast. So global internet traffic dropped by 12%. This also coincided with a massive internet rally and sell-off or rally around some stocks that are involved in a huge kind of the Robinhood app, and Reddit was in kind of a big drama yesterday, which we'll cover in some other news at some point, because it's a true story of the little guy taking the big guy for a ride, undoing what happened in The Big Short in 2008, 2009, but based on the little guy actually taking money from the big guy. This was a very profound story brought to my attention by Hat Tip Rob Boudreau. Shout out to Rob Boudreau on that. So while the internet was taking a dive and the stock market was taking a rallying hit, this began to actually create a confluence of situations that stick the internet out in many parts and in many services of the East Coast, ultimately directly affecting about 180,000 school students in the Virginia and Northern Virginia area. Now, this isn't that profound. You might have still been able to get onto your internet, but services like Gmail, Zoom, I know for us, ClickUp had a little bit of a hiccup, as did Upwork. We did notice some challenges with Upwork. So this is raising or resurrecting the continued argument that is being had for actually protecting the internet infrastructure as a national required resource like gas and fuel and electric and nuclear power. So this conversation's been going on quite some time. So I think it's definitely important just to be aware of in the conversation, especially as we have a new administration that's resurrecting the conversation of a fair internet and fair internet practices. So this is one of those things you should pay attention to if your business, like ours, is contingent on the internet. So fun fact, yes, there was a tsunami in the internet yesterday. And our last piece of tidbit other news, if you didn't catch it during our morning cup of gratitude, it is Jenna Neal's last day. And a small bit of other news for Spark Sites. We are super saddened to be losing Jenna Neal to her next phase in life, but we are super pumped for what she and her husband, Ryan Neal, are up to and launching and taking Sabu Ramen to the next level, her taking her photography to the next level and clearing out her backlog of clients in photography. We absolutely celebrate them and wish them the best. And top secret, we're going to be celebrating Jenna's departure this afternoon at our local place, Revival. And I encourage you to stop by and encourage her for what's next. We're going to be doing drinks and Cards Against Humanity. And fun fact about Jenna, if you've never played Jenna in Cards Against Humanity, do you even really know her? Do you even really know this person? Marissa says, we're going to miss Jenna Neal. Oh, so much. We absolutely will. I'm already thinking about it. I'm kind of getting choked up. I can't even imagine today's going to be that productive, knowing that she's going to be gone. But that's okay. She's doing awesome things, and we've got an awesome team tag teaming with Kiana and Amber, fulfilling these very big shoes, and hopefully we'll keep Marissa around a little bit longer too. So, so there you have it. That is our other news. Let's talk about 5 ways you're probably getting your mission wrong. Can you fail your mission? Yes, you can. And it will then fail you. Let's talk about how to avoid that. Here we go. Leitra Davis actually pops in. Let's actually see here. Can we do this? Let's do this. Boom. Leitra Davis. Oh, where's the chat? There it is. Messages. Oh, it's not real time. So let's just do this one. Leitra Davis says, congratulations to business family going to their next level. Exclamation point. This is absolutely it. State of the Spark. Its ultimate mission is to ignite lives of explosive significance, to help people spark their vision, ignite their success, explode their significance, and radiate purpose. And that's exactly what Jenna and Ryan are doing. So we celebrate that. We add that to the roster of things that I would consider success. And then Leitra says the question is, what's the question, Leitra? There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama there. I don't know. When you see ellipses, you know something good is coming. I'll proceed until I see what Leitra's talking about. So the top 5 ways you can fail your mission and then how to get them right or straighten them out. Did Ethan Hunt ever fail his mission? That, my dear Leitra, would be impossible. Leitra just teased me up, and I just take my wiffle back and knock that one out of the park. Did Ethan Hunt ever fail his mission? Impossible. I actually just love this moment. I think this episode is my favorite episode. You heard it here. You heard it here first. And then I got the laughy face official from Leitra Davis here. Got him. Okay, let's talk about 5 ways you can fail your mission and then how to get it right. Number 1, you can fail your mission by believing your mission is superior to other people's chosen paths. You know, I encountered this a lot myself. I experienced this quite a bit myself when I was in the mission field. It came from me. And I believe that if you weren't doing what I'm doing on the missionary field, and then in other missions, not just the missionary field, we're not just talking about missionary work. Good morning, Lori. How you doing? Good morning, Laura. I hope you're doing fantastic. And then Marissa just says, dad jokes. Those are not dad jokes. That was a phenomenal joke, my love. But step 1 here is to believe that your mission is morally superior to other people's chosen paths. Now, again, this isn't just missionary work. This is the mission. To believe that being, like if you feel that parenting is a mission, to believe that it is morally superior to others' chosen paths. For me and Marissa to not have kids and to focus on, I don't know, business or launching people, to think that we are morally superior to other people's chosen paths stifles your ability to see the value in other people's paths. You can get mission wrong by believing that your chosen mission or the mission that has inspired you, because quite often mission is to be inspired. The word inspired comes from the Latin root inspire, which means roughly to be filled with the breath of life, to be breathed into. When you have this experience that you've been breathed into, or the divine has breathed life into you, and then to chase that path and to feel that fulfillment, and then to look at other people's paths and to judge that there's no way they could have the same inspire. There's no way that they could have the same inspiration as you do, cuts you off from celebrating them and learning from their journey. That is one way you can absolutely fail at mission. So how do you get this right? How do you turn this around? You turn this around by humbly being filled to the brim with gratitude for the feeling of fulfillment for being on a mission. And letting that open your heart to being genuinely curious about others' paths and what you can learn from them for your own. A humble heart full of gratitude for the feelings of mission, and allowing that to open your heart to learning from others' paths. That's how you get it right. Number two, how can you get mission wrong? Number two, to browbeat everyone with your mission. This is unnecessary, my beautiful friends. Quite often when you finally have the feelings of being on mission, you want to tell everybody. And you might browbeat them with this. You might tell them too often. You might try to pull them into your mission. I know I want people to be part of the Spark mission, igniting lives of explosive significance, and to browbeat people with, you need to be involved. You need to be involved. And you see this in missionary work quite a bit, or in church and ministry work. You need to be involved. If you're not doing this thing, what else are you doing? That's to believe that your mission is morally superior is number one. Number two, to just pound people with it. I would almost call this Bible thumping, preaching your mission. Listen, it's one thing to share your mission. You should absolutely share your mission, 100%. But you need to read the room. People are going to burn out on the words of hollow intentions. So, and this is the other aspect of this. Sometimes people over communicate their mission because they're trying to actually whip themselves up into a fury to actually take action. Here's how you get it right. Show people with your actions. Show people with your actions. Don't just tell them with your words. Show them with your actions what your mission is. They're going to appreciate it way more. You see, some folks didn't even know we were on the mission field until we posted photos from the Dominican Republic. We're here. Surprise, shorty. We're here. We're doing it. Now, I mean, our supporters, our family, our friends, our landlords, they knew we were gone. But not everyone really knew what we were up to. And we knew that we wanted to put action and elbow grease down first. We wanted to show people what we were doing. Marissa's fantastic at this with Spark Explore. She's on a mission to help people reconnect with nature. And she just took these awesome girls on the tester hike on the Florida Trail just this last weekend. And they're doing phenomenal work. And these photos come flooding in. And though people are like, I think I heard about this, but to see these photos of Marissa actually doing it, man, show people with your action. Don't just tell them with your words. In business, boom. Lori says, you did this early in your Spark journey. I appreciate your journey more now. And what she's talking about is I browbeat people with this. And we did. And I was passionate about it. And I got overly zealous about it. I know that. Now, we were rallying. We got people involved. We got volunteers involved. We did book studies. We did a lot of good things. You can browbeat people and still do good things. But it was overly much. And we're calmer now. And we're trying to shape more action and more deliverables and more real things to people in this phase than just words. Then we put our actions where our words were back then, but there was something a little less sturdy about it at the time. And so today we're really trying to work hard. And in business, don't just tell people your intentions. Post pictures of the clients you have served in the past. Don't just say, oh, we're going to donate X, Y, and Z. Notify people after you've made the donation. And again, don't just make it about me. Just let them know what you're up to. Post photos of the team volunteering. Don't just say, hey, maybe we're going to volunteer. Actually follow through. Leacher says, I believe walk and live your journey with joy and inspire others to join you. Those that resonate with what you're doing will come, and those that don't won't. Absolutely. This is totally 100% true. So number 3, so how you get it right is to show action. Leacher Davis says her mother had a saying, baby, walk softly but carry a big stick. And I think this actually is also attributed to Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt. Walk softly but carry a big stick. Absolutely. So how you get browbeating right is to show people with your actions what you're up to, and then invite them joyfully along. Hey, come on, let's join this thing together. Absolutely. Number 3, to expect others to pay you just for being on the mission. I got this one wrong big time in the early days of our mission. Good morning, Autumn. Thank you for the like this morning. I sincerely appreciate it. To expect others to pay you or support you just for being on the mission. You know, to many people, including myself in the early days, being on a mission, you believe that the purpose and ways for others to interact with you is obvious. You believe that many people just don't understand what you're doing at first. Many people don't value what you're doing. You could be serving the poor in India, and people have what's known as donor burnout. There's donor burnout. There's volunteer burnout. People are sick of the invites. They're sick of how many Facebook donation invites they get. They're sick of how many causes they hear about. A lot of mission-driven people, for-profit and nonprofit, both, tend to believe that the pure nobility of their cause is enough for people to support them or donate or purchase their services. And we made this mistake early on. It happens more time than you think. When I say it out loud, it sounds silly. But I think you would be shocked how many people say things like, people just don't get what I'm doing. I'm volunteering. I have this cause. I slapped a label on a nonprofit. Why aren't they supporting me? I would say this, and this is how you can fail at getting your mission, because you're expecting the money to flow or the resources to flow, and you built a model that's dependent on those resources. Here's how you get this right. Create a sustainable model from the outset. I remember me and Marissa trying to support the Haiti mission. We were working the Haiti mission for 5 years or more, and our local Haitians would make trinkets, and we'd come back to the U.S. to sell them. Even if we sold out every single trinket, we could not pay back the airline tickets, the building of the community center. There's no way that selling handcrafted Haitian material would work. We weren't thinking like business owners. We were thinking like ministry owners, and we were hoping for the pity sale and then the tips that came with that. Instead, we should have been going into retailers and trying to create demand and think about marketing. We did this for ourselves as well. We self-funded our first year in the Dominican Republic. We saved up the money. So that's one way to get it going. And then we had some business plans, and then we realized if we do not come back to the United States and create a sustainable business model, we can't continue this work or any work like it. We can't even explore who we are. So how do you get this right? Instead of expecting the pure nobility of your cause to be enough to stir people to write checks for you or to support you or to buy your for-profit services, the cause is not enough. Good marketing, good business principles, right? A profitable model. We made that mistake with Spark Sites. We started our profit model too small. We had small vision at the time. We were just going to sell 50 or 100 clients and move back to the islands. We could do that now. We could move back to the islands and live like kings in the Central America or in the Dominican Republic. But now we're growing, so now we're a 14 team, so we couldn't do that. But our profit margins back then were so narrow that now that we're trying to grow, growth requires some entrepreneurial ability. So the third mistake that people make in getting mission, the third way people get mission wrong, is just to expect that the pure nobility of your cause, the mission, to be enough. It's enough to move you and to move your team. Having good business practices is how to get it right, and a good sustainable model is the best way to get it right. Yes, mission can cause people to give. It can happen. But that happens the way, okay, well, there's $1 million companies. Is that most companies? No. Most companies have a good, solid six-figure, high and mid six-figure earnings, and they can be profitable, and they take care of their family and maybe a few employees. That's most companies. So you need good business practices. Number four, the way to get mission wrong. Number 4, look at it here. To miss the spiritual aspects of your mission. Just miss the opportunities. And I'm not talking about missionary work. I'm talking about cause-driven, mission-driven, purpose-driven business. Your sense of calling, not just business. Maybe you have a job and at night you're producing music or writing a book. I write a book every morning. I'm writing on books. That's my mission. There's something deeply uplifting about being on mission. Once we feel stirred and inspired for this mission and take action on it, we want to tell people about it. We want to build infrastructure. We get into the scramble of busyness to edify this thing, to build a construct. But we miss the real core benefits of being on a mission. And that's internal fulfillment, spiritual elevation, character building, internal work, soul-soothing work. You could work your fingers to the nub when you are on mission, whether you're called to write music like Litra is, whether you're called to write like I am. I could write for hours and never come up for air and lose a sense of time. This is called Kairos time versus Chronos time. Look it up. I can work my fingers to the nub. And if I don't sit and marinate in that, I am missing the primary benefit of being on mission, of saying yes to the call of my spirit, of saying yes to the call of the muse, of saying yes to the thing you're supposed to be doing, whether it's parenting, whether it's business, whether it's dance in Lori's case, whatever that is. If you say yes to the muse for a moment and start, but then get caught right into your your left brain, that's all practical. If you do not pause for the moments, if you do not pause in the calm moments and receive the mission and literally pause and receive the feeling of it, allow yourself to feel uplifted, allow yourself to feel fulfilled, allow yourself to feel joy, allow yourself to feel happy. You can have goals that you're still chasing and feel happy because just being on the path when it's mission can fill you up. Hang on, we gotta bring this up here. This is important. This is from Lori. Lori says, how do you come up with a mission? I think we have to answer this in another context, Lori. I want to commit to you that I will address this. I need to address this. And this is a very important question. How do you identify, see, hear? You can craft a mission, but I think it's more discovered than crafted. This is a fantastic question, folks. This is a fantastic question. I think it's discovered or uncovered. Discovered is almost serendipitous, by happenstance. I'm lucky if I have one. I'm unlucky if I don't. To say it's uncovered implies that you're digging deep to uncover that treasure. I want to answer this question for you, Lori, in another context. So if you will allow me, let's bookmark this question. I'll go back to this because this was in the comments that Lori left. I will circle back to this and make a show about how to uncover mission. Fantastic question, but I think it takes more time than we have today. So thank you for bringing that up. So if the fourth principle is missing, the fourth way to ruin mission is to miss the spirituality of the mission. How do you get this right? This is how you get this right. Pause often to relish. Here we go. Pause often to relish and enjoy being on mission. Give yourself permission to be happy. Give yourself permission to feel joy. Because let me tell you something, I've been coaching people for over 15 years. I pause to say 20 years, but I've been coaching or counseling people for over 15 years. And I would tell you the number one root issue that people experience, whether it's business owners going, Grant, let's do a sales training. And I coach them on sales training and they're like, I don't want to sell that, or I don't want to be like this when it comes to sales. When you drill down to why not? It's because they don't believe in the mission they're on. It doesn't resonate with them. They don't believe in the thing they're selling. It doesn't resonate with them. If I am in a bookkeeping coaching and I am not a trainer or a coach, go to Adam and Brittany Welchel from Spark Bookkeeping for that. But I'll be coaching a client and they'll ask about bookkeeping and I'll just be testament about this is what it takes to kind of do profit first and how to kind of turn your finances around. And they're like, I don't want to do this. When you drill down, more often than not, the root problem is they aren't sufficiently motivated about their mission. If you are sufficiently motivated about your mission, like two of my current clients are, my coaching clients, they're both on a mission. And it's not even the service they provide. They're on the mission behind that. And they both are very aware of that. So they have been making big changes in their profit first, big changes in their marketing, big changes in their team dynamics. They are doing, as Elon Musk said, chewing glass of business. They're enduring the tough stuff because they're aware of their mission. You need to be able to pause and enjoy your mission in the middle of it, in the middle of the tornado. If this is how people get centered in business, they go back to their why. Their Simon Sinek start with why. So how you get this right, how you enjoy spirituality is when the fervor starts kicking up in your cause, in your nonprofit, in your project, in your business. When it starts to get really briar patchy and it starts to get chaotic. Pause and relish that these are the prices we pay for your mission, and send a note strain, send a harmonic vibration into your heart about where's that gratitude for being on mission, and let yourself feel joy. And this will fill you up like a stinking Dragon Ball Z refuel. It'll totally fill you up again to think about that thing. So how do you get mission wrong? You can totally miss the spirituality of it. How do you get it right? When it gets chaotic, center yourself and remind yourself of what the mission is and start filling yourself with the emotions of joy, gratitude, receptiveness, and happiness. Give yourself permission to be happy. And then with that new, renewed mind, engage the work. Number 5, lastly, how do you get mission wrong? To ignore the calling of the mission. I believe you are visited by the muse. My Christian friends will say the spirit more frequently than we care to admit. I just have a friend, I wouldn't call him a coaching client, he's a website client, he's a friend, and he confessed to me, he's in another town, and he confessed to me he was just disfellowshipped from his church on one spiritual point alone, and that was he absolutely stood by the fact that he believes he hears from the divine personally and regularly, and it's not in this church's doctrine. They said, no, that only happened in the early Testament. Now we go to scripture. You're wrong. And they disfellowshipped, and my heart broke for him. I believe you can hear from the muse, the spirit, the divine, the soul, the oneness. I believe you can hear from this daily, regularly, if not hourly. It's the splinter in your brain that drags you away when you're doing the thing you know you're not called to. Maybe it's responsibilities. You can't ignore your responsibilities. But it's that thing that tugs at you that says, oh, you could be doing something far more fulfilling. But because we're adults, we develop a very mature adult-like way to stifle the voice of the calling. I believe you all are called to the greater mission. I just generalize and call it igniting lives of explosive significance. You'll have your own path. I have mine. But daily, just like you daily check into this show, and I sign off by encouraging you to remember the mission, igniting lives of explosive significance, you should do the same for your mission. I believe the muse visits daily. I believe the spirit visits daily, but it whispers. The spirit doesn't force herself on you. The muse will not force herself on you. Very rarely will someone be overcome and just say, I need to quit my job and make a life change. It's more often a visit of a tug in the heart. And she's gentle and kind and quiet. And we as adults learn how to put honey in our ears, as Odysseus did, and ignore it and maybe even brush it away of, oh, those are just the desires of my youth. Oh, no, you know what? I'm just split-brained. I'm just ADD. I'm doing this work and I'm feeling tugged to this other work. I'm just ADD. I'll just take a pill for that. I'll just ignore that. I'll take care of that later. I'll take care of it when I weigh 50 pounds less. I'll take care of that when I'm a millionaire. We have these very adult-like mechanisms to ignore the mission on our heart. Are you guilty of that? Be honest. Whether it's with me in the comments or whether it's with yourself in your journal, be honest. Are you guilty of having very immature, adult-like ways to stifle your inner voice? Here's how you get this right. Here's how you fix this. If you truly feel called, quietly but certainly, and drawn to a mission, take at least one small act today, right now, for this thing. Make it a symbolic act. Make it a symbolic gesture. If it's Marissa for the trail, reach down. Why don't you wear your trail bracelet and touch it to remind yourself of the Colorado Trail and what you're called to? If it's Lori with dancing, why don't you have a necklace or a talisman of dance shoes that when you second guess, you touch that talisman and remind yourself, I'm called and I'm going to take an action. Or further, if you're Lori and you feel called to dance in your office, why don't you stand up and pirouette? Sheena asks a killer question that's relevant. How do you take a break and not call it ignore? I'm going to have to unpack that. Sheena, could you ask that same question another way? I think I know where you're going with this, but I'm going to continue real quick with how to get ignoring the mission right. But if you could unpack that question just a little bit more, I don't want to assume too much. How do you take a break from what? Responsibilities or the mission and not call it ignoring? Do unpack. Let me know. Are we talking about responsibilities or the mission? And then I'll answer your question. So thank you for this question, but please let me know. Are we talking about your responsibilities or the mission? Let me know, and we'll get right back to that, okay? So how do you get this right? Make a prophetic gesture. Lori, if you feel called to dance, but you're mired down in taxes for tax season, get up and pirouette. Get up in power stance. Marissa, if you are called to hike, but you feel overwhelmed with work, walk outside, get the sun on your face, and walk around that lake. You know I'm not chaining you to that desk. You know the team would love you for it if you took them on a walk around the lake. Do a prophetic gesture. If we need to go camping on the weekend, let's do that. Grant, if I feel called to write a book right now about mission, wake up, ditch the gym, and write. Do I have to write the whole first chapter? No. Write the first sentence. Write the first words. And even if they're fumbling, write them. And you will find that the muse will speak louder and louder and louder to you. The muse will respond, and it turns into this cycle. So if you are used to ignoring the mission, you can maybe this is what Sheena's getting at. Maybe she's taken a break from her mission, and maybe she's wrestling with whether or not she's ignoring it. And if that's the case, and we haven't heard clarity yet from Sheena, but Sheena, if that's the case, if you're just talking about how do you take a break from it, like maybe you were on your mission and you had to take a break. We were in the Dominican Republic and we had to take a break. But that break is now 7 years long. Shame on us. It's been 7 years since we were back on the mission field. I present for your consideration, Sheena, to have a gut check in your journal. Have you gone too long? And honestly, if you're feeling the prick or the pull of the question I present for your consideration, it's trying to circle you back. Thanks for the like this morning, Laura. Hope you're doing great. So I present for your, oh, here we go. Sheena says, so I'm on a mission. Sheena says, so I'm on a mission. Papers due while I'm running the business. Deliver the paperwork. But then they need more. It seems sometimes I put my head to a wall with it. So I decide, okay, Monday. So purchasing a building. Gotcha. Well, I don't know if I don't know. Maybe this is a mission. Maybe you need to purchase a building and you need to push through. Maybe you are in the middle of the battle. And if that's the case, if this mission and acquiring this building, she says she's purchasing a building. If this mission and acquiring the building are one and the same, there's deadlines on it. So let me encourage you, do not ignore it. Step up, do it. Because especially as it comes to acquiring, she says, I am. I love it. Okay. She says, I am, LOL, leave me alone. Okay, so I'm not picking at you, but let me encourage you. It sounds like you're in the middle of the mission and now you're hitting resistance. Resistance while you're in the mission is different than resistance preventing you from stepping back in. So if you need to go get a cup of coffee, if you know a shoulder rub from a friend, do whatever you need. Slug that, step up, deliver the paperwork, get this mission, because resistance gets strongest on the 1 yard line. Hear me on this, friends. I know that we need to wrap up, but I think Sheena needs to hear this. Resistance is strongest on the 1 yard line. It's going to tear at you. It's going to tug at you. It's going to be demonic because it is resistance and it's internal. I'm not going to call it Satan, but it is resistance on the 1 yard line. So I think you're in a different season than most people I'm speaking to. I think most people I'm speaking to have been today. I'm speaking to you, but most people that I wrote today's show for, I think, are mostly people that are ignoring the call of the mission or butchering it entirely. I think you're just experiencing resistance. You're welcome. She says, thank you. Get after it and post in the Facebook Goals and Gratitude group and let us know, just as an accountability, I finished my paperwork and now it's on them and now I can take a nap. Nothing but love there. Let's wrap up to how ignoring the mission and its calling. Let's wrap this up. How do you get this right? Take a symbolic gesture. For me, it's writing a single sentence. For Lori Holland, it's doing a pirouette in the middle of her paperwork. Feel the joy that this is the thing, right? And maybe that's not her calling. I'm assuming a lot. I'm just using it as an example. But if you are afraid that you have been ignoring the mission, the very next time you hear a tug or a call to that mission, do it. Leitra, if you are in the middle of work, and you feel the tug and you are afraid you might have spent a little too much time ignoring, go to the bathroom and sing a strain. Write a lyric to a song. Do something that is symbolic towards that thing. In the ministry, we called these prophetic gestures. In shamanism, we called it bone shaking or anthropologically bone shaking. You and I can just call it a symbolic gesture to say yes to the muse so that the spirit, the muse knows that you're nurturing that relationship and you're building your soul up to be responsive immediately to the inspiration of your heart. You need to say yes to it. You need to cultivate it. You need to say, Marissa, let's get some potpourri in the office. When you need the forest, crunch that potpourri and breathe the smells of the forest. Say yes to the muse. Say yes to the muse. That's how you correct ignoring the mission. I'll just cover these and we'll get out of here. Number one, you can get mission wrong by believing your mission is morally superior to others' paths. You can get mission wrong by browbeating people with your mission. You can get mission wrong when you expect other people to automatically understand and value and support you just because of the nobility of your mission. You can get mission wrong by missing the spirituality of mission. You can get mission wrong by ignoring the call. And I think we've already covered at length enough how to get this right. Listen, have a great day today. If you need any help or support at all whatsoever, please visit us at the Facebook Goals and Gratitude group. Visit us at stateofthespark.com. Ask your questions there. Sheena, any other questions? Ask it in the Facebook Goals and Gratitude group. We give so much free coaching and consulting there. It's not funny. And we feel that we're not even being used a fraction of what we're capable of being used. Join us at the Facebook Goals and Gratitude group. We're going to continue to be rolling out material and blogs and free work and PDFs and downloads at thestateofthespark.com. But remember the mission today, my friends. Igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. Have a fantastic day. Take care.